Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This thing come out of the case into PV is just some of the best stuff ever done. Yeah, and this thing's been in the case for years. I need to start taking this back out on the road with me. That's just all there is to it. Yeah. Oh, God, I love this guitar. Before we start talking about this one a lot, I'm going to get my little pocket knife out here and do something. By the way, this is a PVT-15. The T on these stood for Todd. Chip Todd was the creator of these. He worked for Hartley Peavey. And I'm going to cut this old shoestring off. I had this hanging on a wall for a while with an old shoestring. I'm just going to cut her off there if I can. It's a good shoestring. Anyway, Peavey had been making amplification for Leonard Skinner, Black Oak, Arkansas, and all these southern bands like the Allman Brothers even. Marshall Tucker Band and stuff for a long time. And the guys in these bands were just so impressed with Peavey's amplification that they went to Hartley down in Mississippi and said, hey man, can you build us some good instruments at a good price and build them here in the USA? Hartley said, sure, we can do that. So he put a guy named Chip Todd to work on it. Henceforth, the T in the name. These come out in the early 70s. These were some of the first ones. We used to call these the Mississippi Mustang. This is the old case. We called these chainsaw cases. They were hard plastic and they had an amp in them, you know. Really a pretty cool sounding old amp. They're kind of funky to get around with. But man, they'd really protect your instrument. And they were designed to go down at airports, to go down those airport luggage things, boom, and stuff without harming your instrument. And they even had their own built-in amplifiers and stuff. So that's the original Peavey case there that actually came with this instrument. Get it back there. So this is an old Peavey T-15 Mississippi Mustang with those ferrite pickups. These things sound just remarkable, just super. I played this guitar throughout the entire infamous Route 66 tours. This strap, when my daughter Brittany was about 2, this was my Father's Day present for my daughter Brittany when she was 2 years old. She'll be 16 this year, actually. And I think she's still living in Stuttgart, Arkansas, I think is where she lives. Don't get to see her, talk to her, so, you know, one of those things. The old Peavey T-15, Mississippi Mustang. Sometime when it's not quite as late at night, I'm going to hook these up and let you hear how they sound through an amp, you know. I've got an old Peavey Decade that this thing sounds just like a dream through. And my girlfriend Sharon and I found that old Decade up in Springfield. I used to have a Decade years ago when I was a kid, and someone stole it off a stage. And we were around this little shop up in Springfield, Missouri, Sharon and I was, and they had a little Peavey Decade in there, and I seen it. You know, it was one of the original 1980 model Decades. First year they made those, and I got it for a song, quite literally. And I'm tickled to death with that little old amp. I use it at a lot of shows. If you look at some of our live video footage on the Roadhouse and stuff, you look behind me, you'll see that little Peavey Decade actually on stage, and I'm naturally using it, you know. I've got a Peavey Bandit also that this sounds great through. I just got that Bandit back. That was stolen from me, and it took me years to get it back. I won't get into the politics that were involved with that, but that was stolen by a political person. I've hated those people ever since. I've always hated them. They stole my Bandit. I griped about it for years and years. Finally, I got it back, so I'm happy about that. This is one of the PVT-15s. They had the PVT-25, the T-30s, the T-60s. Carl Perkins played the T-60s quite a bit. You don't see many of these old original T-15s left out there. The later model ones, the toggle switch was up here on. A lot of times when people would buy these back in the day, they would take these pickups out and put DiMarzios in there. I don't know why, because these pickups are super. They sound great. They're indestructible. They're awesome. This guitar has been with me forever. Ah, yeah! I love playing this thing. And I don't know why I stopped playing this. I'm going to have to fix that situation. You know what I'm going to have to do, I think, is when Brian and I go out and do our shows, I'm going to have to start coming home in between gigs and swapping out instruments so that some of this stuff can get more road time. This thing, if it could talk, well, a lot of people would be in prison or insane asylums if it could talk. Yeah. The tour I died on, this was one of the guitars that was with me. I think I showed you the old Harmony guitar. I had just finished wrapping up. The last song of the set was Freebird, and I had been having a heart attack for like 3 or 4 days, and I couldn't get any help at the emergency rooms and stuff. And so this guitar was on that tour with me. I finished that tour though. I sure did. All the way up to the last song of the tour. I finished it. Then I died. Then they put me on a chopper and open heart surgeries, this, that, and the other, just immediately. Long story. It was a cool gig though. But this guitar was with me on that Route 66 tour. And my PVT-15.